To begin this project, the first thing you want to do is gather your materials. You will need the printed out photo with a grid on it already, the printed out photo, a sheet of white paper, a drawing pencil. If you don't have a drawing pencil, a number 2 pencil will work just fine. In this video, you will see me use a peel-off pencil eraser, but you can use a pencil cap eraser or even a block eraser if that's what you have accessible. You will also need a sharpener, and a tissue will be helpful, especially when it comes to shading. If you don't have access to a printer, that's okay. You can view the photo on your computer screen, phone, or tablet. So we have both photos, the photo without the grid and the photo with the grid. We are going to be focusing on the photo that already has the grid placed on top of it. You'll notice that there are 3 vertical lines and 3 horizontal lines. So now what we're going to do is we're going to use our paper to create a grid. You're going to do this by folding it in half, hamburger style. You have to make sure that the corners are aligned perfectly so that this comes out straight. So once it's perfectly aligned, go ahead and crease the center. Open it back up, then bring the bottom edge of your paper to meet that center line that you just created. Lightly crease your paper there, and then you're going to bring the top edge towards the center as well. So what you do is you create 4 equal sections, and the lines should almost match up perfectly with your printed paper. So these lines will be used to create the horizontal lines on your grid. Take your pencil and gently trace those lines. Do it gently because we're going to erase these later. So now we're going to fold our paper hot dog style, and remember to align it perfectly. You're going to open it and then take your pencil and trace that line. Now you're going to bring the right edge of your paper to meet that center line, fold it, crease it, open it up, and you're going to do the same thing with the left side. Fold it, crease it, and open it up. Then you're going to take your pencil and trace those lines. Once you do that, flip it over and smooth it out a little bit. You don't want to keep a heavy crease. That's why I said to fold it lightly. So when we're done, now we have our grid. Okay, so we have our 3 vertical lines and our 3 horizontal lines that should almost perfectly match the printed image. We're ready to begin. So when you use the grid process to draw, you're going to be focusing on transferring one image at a time from one square to another. To begin, we're only going to focus on creating the contour outline of our balloon letter. Don't worry about shading anything in. We are only looking at the outline. For the sake of time, I'm going to go ahead and speed this up. And we're done. Now we're going to add value. So you are going to take your pencil and you are going to do your best to match the values that you see on the left to what you're drawing on the right. As you're moving along from one square to another, it's okay to erase the grid line as you're going. If an area is light gray, then press down lightly. If something is dark gray, then you're going to want to add more pressure to your pencil. Now comes the tissue. You can use the tissue to blend areas on your paper. Remember not to use your finger to do that. Now your eraser. This is just as much a tool as anything else. You use it to bring back the whites in areas that you need lighter. I'm gonna go ahead and finish this up, and you'll notice that I'm always going 1 square at a time. It's okay to turn your paper, make adjustments as you're going, but do not jump around. So at this point of my drawing, I'm pretty much done. Now I'm just going back to make sure that areas that need to be darker or lighter are adjusted. All of the original grid lines have been erased. I'm just going back to add those really dark, hard lines. There are a lot of times when we hit points in our drawings where we think we're done, but remember, you can always go back and add more detail, add more shading, add more highlights. Make sure that you're actually taking your time and focusing on the little details. The more accurate you are in transferring the details from your photo to your image, the better and the more realistic this drawing will look in the end. Your last step should be taking your eraser and making sure that you pull out any white areas that you might have. And just like that, we are done. I cannot wait to see how you do.